product. So that's why the customer, okay, recording is progress. Okay, so so Islamic bank, so the customer will not come to the Islamic, or the customer not come to the Islamic bank, but they are coming to the conventional bank because they provide a lot of product. He's talking about the how they are awareness. Okay, awareness not only talking about like the product, but also the services. I think it's conventional bank is quite good. They give me a lot of services, not like Islamic bank, for example. So that's why the people coming to the conventional bank, not Islamic bank. Also, the awareness coming from the government. My government doesn't support Islamic bank. So how is it? I think we need to discuss more and more the discussion and more the explanation and more the research to ensure that why the growth of Islamic bank is in each country is different. Because of what? Okay, we know because the awareness. But in what way the awareness? Okay, no, but the governance, in what way? This is number of the Sharia Advisory Board. This is number about the GAP director. But this is talking about the board of commissioner. They doesn't aware, for example. Maybe. So talking about also the quantitative development, is quantity, the number of Islamic bank. If you know the Aceh, you know Aceh, Indonesia, we have the state as Aceh. Aceh in Indonesia is like Sumatra, yeah. Yeah, Sumatra. Okay, Sumatra. In Sumatra, we have the Aceh Island, yeah, daerah Aceh itu, Pulau Aceh. In Aceh, Islamic bank only 2. But there is no conventional bank. Very few conventional, but mostly people, Aceh people, they save the money in Islamic bank. Because they know, okay, I choose the Islamic bank because blah 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 blah. Okay, because my students from Aceh, she said to me that in Aceh only 2 Islamic bank, BSI and also there is one I forgot, and conventional few, they only branch, something like that. Branch, subsidiary. Okay, not main. This is kind of the discussion why we talk about the Islamic banking. Next. Okay. Now also we're talking about the number of Islamic banks by region. So this one is GCC, MENA, South Asia, Europe, America, and other countries. So mostly in GCC. Okay, this is growing. Yeah. Okay, next. Okay, next. Okay, other Islamic financial institution, other financial institution, like, for example, like Islamic microfinance, for example, or maybe like Islamic microfinance, mostly microfinance, or maybe if Indonesia we have the Sharia Rural Bank, or maybe we also have the insurance, for example. This is kind of the other Islamic financial institution. Okay, next. Okay, next. Now, this one is top countries by indicator. Okay, top countries by indicator. So if you look at from this chart, we can look at from the knowledge. Okay, Malaysia, Indonesia, awareness, Malaysia, Bahrain, CSR, Saudi Arabia and Jordan, governance, Malaysia, Bahrain, and quantitative development, Malaysia and Saudi Arabia. So this is different ring in each indicator. So if we look from here, we can learn that in every country, they have the different indicator of the number of indicator, the number of rank of indicator. Why the quantitative development in Malaysia is high rather than Bahrain, for example, the Saudi Arabia, because they're aware. The quantity of Islamic bank is high. Okay, also the governance, also the Ph.D. Okay, Malaysia, Indonesia, Saudi Arabia. So you're talking about the Islamic Finance Development Index itself, overall. Okay, next. Okay, before going to the product, before going to operating, so you have to understand about the Islamic bank conversion types. Okay, because the operating system, its operating system on Islamic bank depend on how their conversion types. Is it about the Islamic Windows, Islamic Subsidiary, or maybe Islamic bank full-fledged? Okay, because this is different. Okay, the operating system, it can be operated based on this, based on that. Okay, Islamic Windows, Islamic bank Windows, Islamic bank Subsidiary, and also Islamic bank full-fledged. Okay, next. Okay, the first one, we will talking about the Islamic banking windows. What is that? So actually, the Islamic banking windows, it is coming from the conventional. Conventional. So for example, like in this is Indonesian Islamic bank. I don't know if in another country. For example, like Bank Permata. Okay, Bank Permata, they have the main bank from the conventional. So also they can operate the Islamic bank, but the management, they are from the conventional. If the Islamic banking windows, the management from the conventional, meaning that all the transactions, all the annual report will be collected, consolidated, become one. So that's why in the annual report, you can see that there is the interest, also there is the profit sharing or maybe margin. So they collect together. Okay, because of the main of bank is conventional. The management from the conventional. The management of team from the conventional, not from the Islamic bank itself. They cannot operate the system. They cannot operate the system without the conventional bank. If Bank BSI, Islamic Bank, for example, Bank Bahrul, for example, it is full-fledged, yeah, Bahrul, meaning that they can operate by themselves because the team management is from the Islamic bank, fully Islamic bank. But if Islamic windows, they cannot operating because they still need help to the conventional bank. So we can, if we make the easy to understand, this is talking about the branch, branch. Jadi Windows itu branch. You have the conventional, and conventional, they have the kids. The kids one is the Islamic Windows, for example. Okay, like branch, cabang. So this is management team. They are from the conventional. Apa the system? The core system still in conventional. Islamic banking windows still in conventional. So Victoria Bank. Indonesia, we have the Victoria Bank. Victoria Bank in the beginning of the bank itself is coming from the conventional. After 3 years and 3 years to go, the banks established the new Islamic bank. The first one is Islamic banking windows for the Bank Victoria. So all the system, the core system coming from the conventional. Okay. So also the document, also the process, also the akad, contract. The contract also, everything still from the conventional. But the term of the contract is made different. Yeah. Like, for example, like mubarabah, musyarakah, murabahah, istisna, salam, ijarah, muntahiyah, tamlik, everything else, everything from the akad, everything is coming from the conventional, but they change the term. But they're trying to provide the Islamic law in their transaction. But for the annual report, they still consolidated with the main, or maybe the main of the system with the conventional. So if you look at from the annual report, there is the conventional, also including with the profit sharing or maybe Islamic bank also. So it could become one. Okay, so the treasury separated treasury structure to build and management independently, but an accounting separate than a ledger, separate. But for the annual report, this become one. Okay, new document, new procedure. Okay, next. And the second one, we're talking about the Islamic banking subsidiary. So it's still the same, but this is I think the 90% going to the Islamic bank full-fledged. Full-fledged meaning that 100% Islamic, Islamic law, 100%. If you look at from here, the management team structure from the Islamic bank. So I told you before, because in conventional bank or in the bank, not conventional Islamic, in the bank, they provide the board of director and board of commissioner, right? Board of commissioner and also board director. That is in conventional bank. In Islamic bank, they have the three traits of corporate governance: board of director, board of commissioner, and Sharia supervisory board. Okay. With this, they provide the Sharia supervisory board. They have the management system separate with the conventional. If you look at from the Islamic window, just now, last minute, we discussed, the management team is not separate. It's become one with conventional. So meaning that Sharia supervisory board still go to the conventional bank. And this one with the Islamic banking subsidiary, this is already separated. Management team separated, meaning that conventional there is board director and Islamic bank also has board director. Conventional has board of commissioner and also the Islamic bank has the bank board of commissioner. But in conventional, they don't have any Sharia supervisory board. But in Islamic bank, they have the Sharia supervisory board. What they are working? They are working to ensure that all the transaction is follow and obey with the Sharia compliance. Okay, in Sharia law. Okay, the system from the system, this is different. The system is still convert from the conventional bank. Also the technology and document according to Sharia content. Also the akad based on the Islamic contract. Treasury separate and accounting also the separate. So this one, this is trying to migration to the Islamic full-fledged. Okay, full-fledged. Okay, next. Okay, now we're talking about the Islamic bank full-fledged, meaning that 100% is Islamic. So meaning that there is no link to the conventional management. There is no like we can call this one is that there is no link from the conventional to the Islamic. Totally separate. Totally separate. So meaning that the management team, system, documents, process, akad, treasury, and accounting, all of this is separated with the conventional bank. So because of this, so that's why the product it will be different. Okay, Islamic windows, Islamic banking subsidiaries, they can provide the product of Islamic bank, okay, but not as much as like Islamic bank full-fledged. Okay, because it's already full-fledged, so meaning that they can provide all the operating system with the Islamic law and Islamic the regulation and Islamic compliance. So that's why this one, there is new document, new process, new system, all mandatory. The migration is mandatory. Wajib, okay, mandatory, and also they have conventional portfolio. So meaning that, for example, the first one become conventional, but now already separate the conventional, so they have the portfolio. Okay. They have the primary portfolio talking about the Islamic bank, conventional bank to the Islamic bank. So this already separate. So meaning that there is no link to the conventional, including with the transaction annual report already separate. Okay, already separate. Like for example, in Malaysia, there is Bank Muamalat, Bank Muamalat Malaysia, yeah. Sorry, Bank Muamalat Malaysia. They fully in the beginning of the company, the beginning of a company established, they already provide the annual report separate with the conventional because they don't have any conventional. But in Indonesia, some Islamic bank, they are coming from the conventional. Like for example, Bank Mandiri, now already merger with the BRI and also BNI and also Mandiri, for example, become Syariah, Bank Syariah Indonesia. And also another, like for example, Bank Aceh. And the first one Bank Aceh established is BPD, yeah, BPD, and then going to the Islamic windows, and then now already full-fledged. This is the kind of how Islamic bank provide information regarding their system and also their structure in the management. Okay, next. Now we are going to the Islamic banking product. So I'm not telling you I'm not telling you very detailed because we have the three what we call this three part about the Islamic bank full-fledged, Islamic bank windows, and also a subsidiary. But now I'm discussing only one section talking about the Islamic bank full-fledged. Okay, so I expect that you can imagine that how many Islamic bank operating and product Islamic bank provide in Islamic bank itself. So depend on how they are operating. Now Islamic banking product. Next slide. The first one, if you look at from the Sharia law, okay, previous. If you look at from the Sharia law, we are talking about ibadah and muamalah. Ibadah, we have the maliyah and ghairu maliyah. Okay, so actually Islamic bank is trying to give you some product, and the product is coming from the Sharia law. So to ensure that product is really linked to the Sharia law. So for example, from akad mudharabah or maybe murabah, for example, what the requirement have to do if you want to get the transaction of the contract with murabah. So you to ensure that the product is real, the price is real, the seller is real, the buyer is real. Okay, so the place also the real, not fake. Okay, so everything have to get clear. So we don't expect that Islamic bank there is maisir, gharar, and riba. So there is no transaction with maisir, there is no transaction with gharar or maybe the riba. Ma huwa riba? Riba az-ziyada. Az-ziyada, meaning that additional cost is very high. So that's why if you want to buy the something, so to ensure that you can say to the buyer, to the seller that maybe you can reduce the price. So you can discuss. So you can tell them, okay, how much is price? This is 1 million. Oh, how is about 500? No, it's 1 million, 500 lah. Okay, 6 about it. Okay, 6. So there is the agreement. There is agreement. Okay, there is the agreement between buyer and seller. This is very important. Why people sometimes, okay, I think you know the transaction maybe, okay, Mr. Bahrul, how if we buy the clothes maybe in the shop? So we cannot negotiate. So the price is net, right? The price is net. We cannot negotiate to make down or maybe reduce the price. Okay. So how is it? That's why if you want to buy, you can negotiate the price. So meaning that don't buy in the market in the shop. You can buy in the market, traditional market, or maybe everything else in another place, for example. Or maybe you can buy with your friend, they have the business, for example. And sometimes we cannot negotiate at the same time in this situation. But for the murabah transaction in Islamic bank, they provide the murabah transaction because of what? What the reason? Okay, for example, I give you something the murabah transaction here. Little bit example. So, for example, sister, what's your name? Konita. For example, the Konita, Sister Konita want to marry. Okay, want to marry with someone. Because she doesn't have the money, lot of money. So it's coming to the Islamic bank. Come to Islamic bank. So the question is, what the Islamic banking product provide to complete or to finish her problem? Is it murabahah? Is it wakalah? Is it hawalah? Is it mudharabah or musyarakah? So these questions always be asked to us. In what way we select or we choose the product? Because murabahah is not because of the merit. She is married. Murabahah is we need the money to buy something. Okay, to buy something. For example, she need money for marriage to buy, what is it? Ring, for example. $20 million, for example. Very expensive. So coming to the Islamic bank. This one is talking about the murabahah. But if merit, you're coming because of merit, you need merit, but the Islamic bank provide the murabahah, this is wrong. Because murabahah is transaction. Okay, the transaction of the good, right, the ring, for example. So that's why in each Islamic bank should provide the information to the customer, very detailed information. So you cannot go to an Islamic bank and just want, okay, I want to marry, so I want to buy. So that's why we can choose the akad. The akad is murabahah. This is example. This is in Arabic, we can call this al-bay'. Also, there is also the kind of bay' is bay'ul manfa'ah. Bay'ul manfa'ah in Islamic bay, we can call this one is an ijarah. You can buy the something, okay, the good something, if there is still have the function. If this kind of good don't have any function, you cannot use it. I need the car. I need the car, and I go to her house, her office, for example, Konita, for example, because she has a lot of car, for example. So I want to run. So she said to me, Mister, I have the car, but the car is trouble. So the machine is trouble. So I cannot run her car because what? There's no function. What for? Based on manfaah. There is no manfaah. There is no function. So no need to buy or maybe to run with her car. This is the example. But if I want to buy the car, and then I will send the car because the car is have a problem, right? The machine is not really good. Yeah, still can, but not really good. So I can go to the store and I can replace it, for example. So the kind of the buy, the murabahah. So that's why Islamic bank should provide the information very detailed to the customer to make sure that customer understand what the customer need, what the customer need, not Islamic bank needs, okay, not Islamic bank need, but what the customer needs. So Islamic bank should provide the product what the customer need, not because of the Islamic bank need. This is very different. Okay, this one is Sharia, and now we're talking about the muamalah, we're talking about the maliyah and the ghairu maliyah. Next. Okay, very small. Okay, this is one is talking about the maliyah. So a lot of tijarah, wajud tijarah, and ghairu tijarah, and between. Because in muamalah we're talking about the tabaruk and tijarah. Yeah, tabaruk meaning that you are transaction not because of the profit oriented, because of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. It's tabaruk. But tijarah, you are trying to transaction because of want to take or get a profit oriented. So the main of the transaction because of the profit oriented is tijarah. If tabarruk, because of the Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, which is a social, just give. There is no like feedback to get the profit or getting the attention with someone. No, okay, just want to get the attention of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. For example, this one is kind of the tabarruk and tijarah. So now if you look at it from the Islamic bank, there is the fund, loan, and services. So we're talking about the funds. We have the deposit, wadiah. There is two kinds of wadiah amanah and wadiah yaddamanah. Okay, this is kind of the product. So also we have investment, mudarabah. Mudarabah, there is two kinds. It's mudarabah mutlaqah and mudarabah muqayyad. Mutlaq meaning that give to the Islamic bank. Provide we just saving our money in Islamic bank, and then Islamic bank will distribute to another loan. If muqayyad mengikat, mengikat. Muqayyad is mengikat, meaning that you cannot withdraw your money. At the same time, this muqayyad is something is like a deposit berjangka, for example, like 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, for example, muqayyad. Okay. And loan, we're talking about the sale. Just now I said to you, murabahah. Murabahah is istisna salam ijarah. Murabahah talking about the transaction itself. Istisna, yeah, istisna sona'ah, yeah, istisna membuat, create, yeah. So istisna meaning that you buy the something but need to create. Okay, like for example, table this one. Okay, you cannot buy this one is directly. Sometimes you ask to the buyer to make, for example, different table, also something like that, or maybe building. Okay, you need the progress, the istisna. So that's why the istisna is can by request from the customer. Also the salam, salam is for the agriculture transaction for the agriculture. And that's ijarah. Just not ijarah, full ijarah or ijarah muntahiyah bitamlik. Okay, ijarah muntahiyah bitamlik, meaning that coming from, they have the option after the run, in the end of the run, the good, for example, or maybe the car. So the car, they have the option become the owners of the buyer or seller. There is the option in the end of the transaction. And the sharing, we have the sharing, profit sharing and revenue sharing, talking about the mudharabah and musyarakah. And the last one, talking about the services, we have the wakala. Wakala meaning that wakil. Wakala, you wakil. You know wakil? Wakilai, wakala. At the same time, this transaction is for this akad, this contract is for using for that if like a debit, credit card, the credit card, and sometimes this in this card is not your own, you're not own money, right? This is from the bank, but you are trying to use this money first, and then you buy the after that you change the money to the bank credit card. For example, this credit card is 5 million, for example, you use the 5 million, right? But it's not your own money, this is the money from the bank. And then after the end of the due date of the transaction, the Islamic bank will inform you, please change the money with blah blah blah, and also with margin blah blah blah, something like this. So this one is with credit card. Also kafalah, syaraf, rohan, and hiwalah. This is kind of transaction services. So this transaction actually in each bank they provide it, but the best one, or maybe the best of the best, the transaction is depend on how Islamic bank operate. Okay, if we look at from Indonesian issue, yeah, mostly Islamic bank, I will show you later on. I will show you later on the graph. in Indonesia, mostly Islamic bank provided the best contract, the best akad is murabahah. Why? The first, this is very easy. Very easy. And the second one, easy to record, easy to calculate, and also easy to get the revenue, to get the profit. Okay, this is already addressed with the OJK, authority, service authority in Indonesia. So they give information that mostly murabahah become popular rather than other transaction. Why? Because of majority, the transaction is for household. You know what the meaning household? Household. Apa household? What household? Household. House itu apa? Rumah. Hold itu apa? Pegangan. Kalau household, kebutuhan rumah tangga. Yaumiyah, ya. Untuk kebutuhan sehari-hari. For what? For shopping. They come to the Islamic bank not for the business. To buy what? Buy iPhone, buy watch, buy car. Okay, buy what? Everything they consumes. They consumes the money not for the business, for the productivity, but from themselves. So this is one, the kind of why Indonesian Islamic bank mostly using for the household. Dia ada batil yaumiyah, kebutuhan sehari-hari. Yeah. So this is kind of why the reason why Islamic bank they're happy. The customer coming to the Islamic bank. So you want to buy? I want to buy car. Okay, good one. What do you think? Islamic bank should give the education to the customer also. Where you buy the car, where you buy the house, where you buy the ring, where you buy this one. So how much they spend money not for their future, but they spend money for the gengsi. Because of that, they mostly that. That the issue is not from me. That the issue is not from me. The issue is from the authority services, OJK. This is from OJK. Okay, so that's why the reason different. I think in another country, for example, like in Malaysia or maybe in Brunei, maybe in Yemen, maybe in Saudi, also the different case. What the best contract, what the best akad in Islamic bank in the country. So it's different. Maybe the country provide mostly salam, for example. No, because of the main of the transaction is majority is agriculture, for example. Indonesia mostly is murabahah. In Malaysia mostly is mudharabah. Some country different. They provide, Islamic banks provide the product, but the issue is not because of Islamic bank. The issue is what the customer need. So in Indonesia, customer need is the customer need money. Need money to buy something because our neighbor they have the new car, because our neighbor there is new ring, because our neighbor they have the new clothes, so we want to buy. We don't have enough money, go to the Islamic bank. We get the money, we buy it. That is Indonesian issue. Different also in another country. So that's why Islamic bank should provide what customer need, but also Islamic bank should give the understanding about the akad. Otherwise, they are trying to get the profit a lot. Okay, I think it is depend on how Islamic bank. Okay, so that's why Sharia Supervisory Board have give attention why Islamic bank in this country, in that country should give the product like this one. For what? Okay, not only give the money, also have to educate people. Okay, so that's why that is the reason why Islamic bank in Indonesia or maybe another country should give this information to the customer, and then in the end the customer will understand. Oh, okay, Okay, thank you, sister. You remind me about this issue. Okay, blah blah blah. So now you want to buy the car again? I think not. Sometimes you can change the customer mind. Okay, after you discuss with you. Okay, as banker, I think you have the pressure from your head, for example. You should get the profit because you are a Islamic bank. Yes, at some time Islamic bank, they are trying to get the profit oriented, but also they are trying also what social oriented. Okay, are you with me? Social oriented and also profit oriented. Not whole the transaction is getting the profit. At the same time, we're not the getting profit, but we are trying to help the people in economic values. So that's why Islamic bank is not fully 100% profit. Islamic bank can be the social oriented, also can be the profit oriented. So that's why we have this one services. We have the loans, we have the funds, we have the revenue. This one is kind of the help the people in economic values, but also we discuss with the customer to ensure that they understand what the customer need. Okay, you need money, okay, but your money want to buy, you have the car, where you buy a car again? I think there is no employee like me. Okay. I think if there is the employee like me, my head department will agree with me. But why you have to give money to them? Okay. Because the target of Islamic bank, they can get a lot of income, a lot of profit. Okay, so that's why this is the issue. Okay, this one is Indonesian context. Next, this one in Indonesian context talking about the product. So this make it very easy. So there is the investment, investor, and service and social. So the social, we're talking about the zakat, also the infaq, sedekah, and halal, and services talking about the wakala, kafala, and investor talking about the murabah, salam. This is like financing. Okay, the investor is financing, and investment talking about the simpanan wadiah mudharabah. Okay, next. Okay, this is this table is provide some information talking about the product in each country. There is the Middle East, North Africa, Malaysia, and Indonesia. So if you look at from the saving account based on wadiah mudharabah, in Middle East, mudharabah and qard are standard offering. Mostly using the mudharabah and qard. Qard is targeted, it's not profit. Qardul Hasan, qard sometimes is not always profit, but it's also social. Also mudharabah in Indonesia, mostly using mudharabah is most popular, followed by wadiah also. Mudharabah, you know mudharabah? Mudharabah. If you are saving money in BSE, so you get a book, okay, you can look at in the end of back of your book bank. There is the akad is mudharabah. Mudharabah, just now I said to you, mudharabah there is two kinds, mudharabah muqayyad and mutlaqah. And this one is not muqayyad, walakin mutlaqah. Okay. Now the current account based on wadiah, so there is qard and mudharabah and offering, and wadiah over to customer. This one is wadiah mostly. Why saving different with current based account? Because the saving is mostly for investment. Okay, for invest. If wadiah, just wadiah, wadiah, you know what the meaning wadiah? Dalam bahasa Arab tuh in Arabic we can call this titipan. Wadiah itu titipan. So at some time wadiah is there is no very limit administration, very small, and also at some time wadiah is the margin is very small, If mudharabah, you can get a lot of margin from them. So fixed deposit base, okay, deposit, purely deposit, mudharabah, murabah, wakalah. So talking about the three, the popular product, especially the within countries. Okay, come in, doctor. All they are popular. Mudharabah is the standard offering. Indonesia is only mudharabah is being over to the customer. Okay, next. Okay, oh, okay. Okay, now, okay, this one is No. This one is back. This one. So this one is talking about the product and process monetize cash and finance based on the tawaruk and salam. In Indonesia, both tawaruk and salam structure are not approved by scholar. It's just different because in it's not approved by scholar in Indonesia. So there is the physical financing, murabah ijarah, house financing, murabah ijarah. In Indonesia is only ijarah diminishing musyarakah are popular. Mostly is in ijarah. And also we have the pawn broking, ar-rohnu. You know ar-rohnu what? Rohan? Ar-rohnu in Indonesia we can call this gadai. You know gadai, pegadaian tau? Yeah. You cannot do this. You cannot do this akad, this contract if the product, or maybe if you want to pawn your, for example, your smartphone. So make sure that your smartphone is still on. Okay. If you bring your smartphone, your laptop, or your motorcycle, they have the problem, or maybe off. Okay. Or maybe off or damaged, something like that. For example, you go to the pawn shop, pegadaian, it will be rejected because what? There is no function. because you have to make sure that if you go to the pawn shop, you make sure that your smartphone, your motorcycle, your car is still on, still ready to use. You cannot go to the pawn shop and then you say you can switch on. No, this cannot. This is off. Cannot. This is the function. You're trying to get the function first. Okay, not the good. If the good, you can go to the akad murabah. Because it depends. At the same time, good murabah, akad murabah is sometimes you get the good is on or off. Depend on how. I think depend on the price also. Okay. So this one is popular from financing with gold as collateral. Next. Also the equipment operating financing, mostly financial lease, capital lease. Capital lease. Yeah, this is ijarah. So istisna structure is more popular for construction. This is istisna, and the project financing based on musyarakah, popular is financing, and also working capital financing based on tawaruk, mudharabah. So mudharabah and musyarakah offer, but not tawaruk because tawaruk is prohibited in Indonesia. Okay, now next for the 15 minutes plus, issue and challenge in Indonesian Islamic bank studies. This is the issue. Why I'm talking about the issue in Indonesia, because you know Indonesia is most Muslim populated country in the world, but they have a lot of issue about talking Islamic bank itself. Next. So this is in Indonesia. If you look at from this one, this I said to you just now. Okay, I think the two brother, you don't understand what this chart is here. Okay, this is the first one. The number. This is the kind of using the money in Islamic bank. Mostly in Indonesia, 48%, 48.10%, mostly for the household. So on Indonesian people, this is September 2021. So all Indonesian people coming to the Islamic bank for what? Rumah tangga, kebutuhan rumah tangga, for household. Bila ada batul yaumiyah. So they share. Not for the business, for themselves. To buy the car. Because our neighbor have the new car. So I need new car also. So that's not good. Yes, for the Islamic bank, good. They get money, right? They get money, they get the profit. But Islamic bank not educate the people. So Islamic bank should give the education also to the customer, not only to trying to get the money from the customer. Also, this one is 10% only for the business. 10% only for business. Construction 9%. So industrial 6%. Agriculture 3%. So mostly for the consumer. Mostly Indonesia is for consumer. This is the issue. Okay, next. Okay, if you look at from the growth of Indonesian Islamic Bank, this is the issue is coming from Indonesian Islamic Bank. Okay, So the growth, so you can see that in September 2021, the growth of Islamic Bank is reduced from the 22% to 16. After 22 become the 16%. The growth, the percentage of Islamic Bank through the asset, okay, this is decline, decline. 2017 is 26, 8 decline, 14, 19 decline again. So 20 during COVID-19 in Indonesia in March 2020, but in 2016. So you have to consider about this issue. And if you look at if you compare with conventional bank in Indonesia, conventional bank is more high rather than Islamic bank. Islamic bank only 6.42. And if you look at from this chart again, 64% they are Islamic bank full-fledged. Okay. So how many Islamic bank full-fledged in Indonesia is talking about 32, about 32 Islamic bank, full-fledged. Okay, next. Okay, so this issue also addressed with the OJK, Financial Service Authority in Indonesia. So the first one, because of Indonesian Islamic banks do not have the different business model, significant product. So the product is sometimes not what the customer need. Not because what the customer need, but because what our head need. Okay, profit. And second one, the financial literacy index and inclusion index is still low. So the literacy of Islamic bank is still low in Indonesia. So all of you are students and also researcher need to improve our skill and our literacy to understand about the Islamic bank. So it's very, very important. The third one is only focus on business purposes. Mostly Indonesian Islamic banks is they give the product only focus for the business purposes. Meaning that profit. Yes, profit is very important because we have to pay the electricity, we have to pay the employee, we have to pay the security, we have to pay everything, equipment. Okay. But beside that, we have to help the people, also the millennials, and sometimes the quantity and quality of human resource. I said to you just now, board of commissioner, board of director, Sharia supervisor should understand about the Islamic accounting, about the fiqh, muamalah, have to understand. Not only because of, okay, I'm Sharia supervisor board, I'm only understand about the Sharia. No, but board of director also have to understand about this. Because what? With whole management, if they understand about the fiqh muamalah, meaning that they can operate system kafah throughout. Okay. Otherwise, they don't understand. The resource is less than optimal. And the last one is an educate IT. This one, IT. So that's why in 2020, I think, yeah, Islamic Bank, yeah, they are trying to improve their information technology. Some application, they are trying to merger with the e-commerce, Shopee, Lazada, they provide for the payment, right? Like Lazada, Shopee, Tokopedia, sometimes they provide the payment for the Sharia also. So meaning that the merger, this transaction, this is a good one, meaning that Islamic Bank, they are trying to get the customer not only offline directly, but also they can get the online because of the transaction with the e-commerce. Okay, next. Okay, now this one from 270 million, 270 million people in Indonesia, the number of Generation Z has been reaching 27.9%, and millennials, it means that more than 50% on Indonesia's population are in productive age. So what the meaning this one? So Islamic Bank have to aware because millennials, a lot of the millennials, at the same time, they don't care about Islamic bank. Okay, they don't care. They know that Islamic bank is better than conventional, but they still choose the conventional bank. So that's why some operating system, some product in Islamic bank, they very close with the millennials. For example, like CMB Niaga, and maybe also like another Islamic bank, I know CMB Niaga, they're trying to get the application for the millennials. So they are trying to get the customer for the millennials, because the millennials, they have a lot of the transaction with the e-commerce. Okay, because the people no need to buy the directly to the shop. You just take your smartphone, you just stick what you need, and then they can send to us. This is very simple. Especially during COVID-19, that people they think that very harmful to get out from the house. Okay, that's very dangerous, because especially COVID-19, they're afraid about this issue. So that's why they're trying to take the phone and also just stick the Lazada, Tokopedia, Shopee, and etc. And then they send it. So the payment is coming from the Sharia bank. So that's why not all the Sharia bank provide and merger with the e-commerce. Not all. Not all. I say not all. This is like the information where Islamic bank should understand what the people and customer needs. Okay, next. This one is research and publication. Okay. Next, recent publication, you can address the sum, talking about the Maqasid Consumer Preference Index for Islamic home financing. And also the research of Islamic bank is a lot, actually. Not only talking about the product, not only talking about the Islamic bank itself, also talking about another issue. For example, like millennial loyalty and halal tourism. At the same time, a lot of the millennials, they are trying to get good transaction with halal tourism, for example. Make sure that we can go to everywhere with the halal transaction and halal tourism, for example, and destination based on analysis. Okay, next. This one is my publication talking about the linking corporate governance with organizational growth, evident from Indonesian. This talking about the Indonesian issue still, and also talking about the Islamic finance relationship, non-performing financing. At some time, non-performing financing. In Islamic bank, we learn about the NPF, non-performing financing. This is talking about the how much Islamic bank they are maintain the people they didn't pay an installment of the credit, for example. So make sure that NPF is not high. So to ensure that NPF is always low. Yeah, always low. So that's why we discuss about this issue. Okay, next. This one is coming soon, inshallah. The due efficiency, intellectual capital, and corporate governance determine a growth in the Islamic bank. We're talking about the intellectual capital. We're talking about the human capital, relational capital, and also structural capital. And also, the last one is talking about the growth of declining. This is still the issue in Indonesia. So I think the issue is not only Indonesia. I think another country have issue. So that's why in each country, how the government they are managed the regulation is very important, especially for the development of Islamic bank. Okay, next. Okay, thank you. I think it's enough for me to give you some understanding and discussion talking about the Islamic banking development and also Islamic banking operating system, and also talking about the Islamic banking product. If you have any question or discussions, let us discuss together. Okay, for me, ila liqa ma'asalama. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, is there any question you want to discuss for everyone? Let's just directly. Is there any question that you want to ask Mr. Bahrul? Okay. Maybe you or maybe your students. Yeah.
Malaysia is growing as a nation. As Indonesia, Malaysia is top now. Because Malaysia is the regulation is not bottom up, but up to bottom. Meaning that when in Malaysia, instead of there is something that is not yet, the regulation is not displayed. They discuss what they provide regulation. When in Malaysia, they don't have any product, what product, but they're trying to design a position to regulation. But in Indonesia, we have a lot of wakaf production, but we don't have regulation to something. This is a bottom up. Our government, so that's why Malaysia and Indonesia is mostly different. Malaysia, they're trying to develop the Islamic bank as part of the regulation, and then they establish to the people in Malaysia, they can establish something. They promote the Malaysia. They're trying to promote the Islamic bank. Okay, you can open, you can establish Islamic bank because in Indonesia, the regulation is coming at meaning that in Indonesia we started in 1991 regulation, but the regulation is supposed to end. Too many is late, very late. Also now, for example, like growing the growth of this bank is still, we depend on our regulation. So the government should give the chance also the opportunity to us to develop. That's why regulation of government is very important. If you want to grow something, that's why Malaysia is working hard. Okay, what is experience for Malaysia? Malaysia is only Indonesia is higher than Malaysia. But the question is, why Indonesian people they don't accept the money in some way? They don't have people information. This is the issue also. So meaning that what happened with Islamic bank already because of the Islamic bank is seems like conventional bank already or maybe they want to change the tune of the conventional also. We just what we call is for example like Bahrul is conventional, we just drop it and change the conventional. This is Islamic bank. We have also the National Islamic Finance Committee.
Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, now Is there any question again? What's your name, brother? What's your name? Abdurrahman. Habib. Habib.
Any question?
Is there any question?
Ada pertanyaan?
Ada pertanyaan? You can ask me in bahasa Indonesia or English is okay. Ada pertanyaan? Ada asilah? Cukup jelas? Is it clear? Okay, thank you. Okay, yes, I think it's enough for me. Okay, can I close first? Okay, hopefully you can understand and know some issue what happened in Indonesia especially, and also there's some information talking about the Islamic bank operating system. So thank you very much for coming today, and hopefully you can get new insight and new discussion with the topic, especially for Islamic bank development and operating system. So for me, thank you. I will close the Kafir Majlis for me. Kafir Majlis, subhanakallahumma bika, asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. For me, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Before making this event, I want to after class, we want to take a picture together.
Aku juga dari sini. Halo deh. Picture. Okay. Finish.
We're going to take in 1, 2, 3. Okay. So once more. And 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you.
For you guys are in the class, please don't first because we're going to take about the offline topics. So maybe you guys can
The front.
yes, we can go to the front.
Okay.